to say finally, causality does not exist. It is an imagination. That is what a scientist will come to in dealing with behavior of subatomic particles. They are all uncaused, indeterminate. That is the language they will use. Causal relation. So many schools have taken here of various believers in causality, and you say a tree has come from the seed. Don't you believe in causality? A tree has come from the seed. That's an illustration. It is that itself is waiting to be proved. Whether there is causality implied there. That's what it is. As an illustration itself, it is to be proved. Don't use it as an illustration when it is still questioned. All these, our modern scientists are very fond of these discussions. The ignorance regarding the antecedents and the subsequence of cause and effect. Cause is supposed to be antecedent. Effect is the subsequent. If you don't know this, effect clearly proves the absence of evolution or creation or causality. If the effect, dharma, that is jiva, has really been produced by cause, then why can you not point out the antecedent cause of the cause? The fact of birth can be established, can be said to be established. The order or succession of cause and effect is established. In the absence of such order, there cannot be any birth or evolution. This is exactly what you have done in principle of indeterminacy. You can't predict the behavior of an electron. Naturally, you cannot predict the behavior of the whole world, only because you will never know its position, momentum correctly. No prediction is possible. Nothing whatsoever is born either of itself or of another. Nothing is ever produced, whether it be being or non-being, or both being and non-being. Yes. That which is without beginning is necessarily free from birth. The beginningless is birthless. Adirna vidyate yasya, tasya hi adirna vidyate. That is verse 23. Then somebody will say, 24. This is one of the schools of Buddhists. Subjective knowledge must have an objective cause. Otherwise, both must be non-existent. For this reason, as well as the experience of pain, the existence of external objects accepted by other thinkers should be admitted, he says. That is, many people believe in the existence of external objects. The views of the dualists given here. Reality of external objects. As you say, you dream, you assign it to the waking state, experience as a cause. This external is the cause of the internal. From the point of view of logical reason, a cause for the subjective impression must be assigned. From the standpoint of higher reality, or the true nature of things, we find that the so-called cause is after all no cause. Here's in the dream. There's only one mind. In the dream, it's all the mind only. Where is causality there? That is how Bodhadarshanat. The mind is not related to any external objects, nor are the ideas which appear as external objects reflections upon the mind. It is so because the objects are non-existent. The ideas are not separate from the mind. Mind is just the ideas. Mind does not enter into any causal relation in any of the three periods of time, past, present, future. How can the mind be ever subject to delusion, as there is no cause for such delusion? All this is purely not from normal relative experience. In relative experience, all this is there. When you investigate, they break down. That's meaning. Therefore, neither the mind nor the objects perceived by the mind are ever born. Neither the mind nor the object perceived are ever born. That you can see in the dream also. Those who perceive such birth may as well discover footprints of the birds in the sky, he says. Discover footprints of the birds in the sky. That's one of the famous expressions in Vedanta. Kevai pashyanti te padam, he says. The Buddhist philosophers are referred to in this Vijnanavada. The birth of the mind, they always say. We don't believe in the birth of the mind. It is never possible for a thing to be other than what it is. That's again established. If the world be admitted to be beginningless, then it cannot be non-eternal. Moksha or liberation cannot have a beginning and yet be eternal. That was 30. And here that criterion of reality is mentioned once again. What is unreal? What is real? Verse 31 to 45. That which is non-existent in the beginning and in the end is necessarily so non-existent in the middle. The objects we see are illusions. Still they are regarded as real. Yesterday it was not there, tomorrow it won't be there. Today it is. That is unreality itself. But then you may say it is utilitarian. It helps us in utilitarian purposes. The serving of some purpose by them is contradicted in the dream, it says. Therefore, they are doubtlessly recognized to be illusory on account of their having a beginning and an end. All these arguments are of that nature. All objects cognized in dream are unreal because they are seen within the body. How can there be the vision of creatures with this narrow space here? So it's not possible for a dreamer to go out in order to experience the dream objects. He was just in the bed and he was dreaming, going here and there. The dreamer, on being awake, realizes as illusory all the conversation he had with friends, etc., during the dream state. Further, he does not possess, in the waking state, anything which he had acquired in dream. He acquired $1 million. Wake up, all gone. Nothing is there. The body active in dream is unreal as the other body, not quite distinct from it, is perceived. Like the body, everything cognized by the mind is unreal. Waking experiences as unreal as dream experience. All these are, this 38, all these are known as unborn, causeless, as their creation or evolution cannot be established as a fact. It is ever impossible for the unreal to be born of the real. Why do people take it as real? Being deeply impressed with the reality of the unreal objects which a man sees in the waking state, he sees those very things in the dream as well. Moreover, the unreal objects cognized in the dream are not seen again in the waking state. One sublates the other, contradicts the other. The unreal cannot have the unreal as its cause, nor can the real be produced from the unreal. The real cannot be the cause of the real, and it is much more impossible for the real, the cause of the unreal. 4 statements are there. Real causing real, unreal causing unreal, real causing the unreal, unreal causing the real. 4 categories. This cannot be. No causal relation from the point of view of the ultimate truth. In the waking state, through false knowledge, we handle objects which cannot be described truly, In dream also we do the same thing. Then comes, why is it that causality is introduced at all in the scriptures? Everyday life cannot go on without causality. Every action that you do, you expect to produce a result. Isn't it? Wise men support causality only for the sake of those who, being afraid of absolute non-manifestation of things, stick to the apparent reality of external objects on account of their perception of such objects and their faith in religious observances, etc. We have attachment to these things. We need it. So, wise people support it, all right. Go on. I believe in causality. Yes. Students who practice Vedanta will, without such belief in causality, spontaneously get the knowledge of the self, unborn and non-dual. Statements such as the creation statements of the Shruti are meant to help us to understand the higher reality. They are only educative value. Advaita philosophers have supported causality from this point of view. For those who have no discrimination, in order to endow them with faith, is all right. Believe in causality. Just like classical physics. Believe in it. Day-to-day life cannot go on the basis of quantum and relativity. Impossible. You are not a space-time continuum. Again, you conduct your life. All right. Believe in classical physics. Conduct your day-to-day life. Vedanta says the same thing. Those who are afraid of non-causality, afraid of the truth of absolute non-causality, on account of their perception of phenomenal objects, they do not admit this absolute non-causation. But it doesn't matter. No evil consequence will come to them with their belief in causality. Even if the evil, if it is there, it will be rather insignificant, provided you move on towards the real truth, which is non-causality. Through causality, you go to non-causality. This shows the catholicity of the Advaita attitude, he says. As an elephant conjured up by the magician, on account of his being perceived, also on account of its answering to the behaviors of a real elephant, is said to exist, so also are objects said to exist, on account of their being perceived, also on account of their answering to our dealings with them. In truth, the objects of sense perception are as unreal as the magician's elephant. I don't know whether they produce elephants. Small things we can do. Mango plenty. Small things you can always do. Handling things. This is a big affair. Even a pumpkin is difficult to produce. Consciousness which appears to be born, or to move, or to take the form of matter, is really ever unborn, immovable, free from the character of materiality. It is all peace and non-dual. Yatyabhasam chalabhasam, vastwabhasam tathaivacha, ajachalavat vastutvam, vijnanam shantam advayam. Shantam means peace, advayam non-dual. Real consciousness is shantam advayam. It has no movement at all, it has no change, nothing. Thus the mind is never subject to birth or change. All beings are thus free from the very birth in their true nature. Those who know the truth are never subject to false knowledge. Dharma. Now comes that word. As a firebrand, when set in motion, just put a lot of cotton, tie up in a wheel, set fire, and make the wheel move. You see? Continuous flame you will see. It is actually discontinuous, but movement makes it continuous. Even a fan, when it whirls, you feel actually it is continuous. As the firebrand, when set in motion, appears as crooked, etc., so also consciousness, when set in motion, appears as the perceiver, the perceived, and the like. Jnana, jnata, jnaya, knowledge, knower, known. Consciousness split up into all these three categories. Really, it's not there. It's all one infinite current or wave or background field of consciousness. There is no motion in consciousness. It only appears to be moving. This appearance is due to avidya, ignorance. No motion is possible in consciousness which is ever immovable. It has already been stated, consciousness is unborn and immovable. The firebrand, when it is not in motion, is free from all appearances and remains changeless. Similarly, consciousness, when not in motion, imaginary action, is free from all appearances and remains changeless. If a firebrand be moved swiftly, it makes a circle, a straight line, or a crooked line, according to the movement. When the firebrand is moved, it does not really make any figure. In reality, there is only a point which appears as various figures. Only one point at a time. Just. But it gives you an impression.